There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Look at that, that's cool. It's kind of pretty. Wow.
¿No lo has oído?
Feel like a king.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity.
No sound. There is no sound. No, no sound at all. There is no sound. Can you hear me? Carl, can you hear me? Yes. But I can't hear you. Can other people hear me? Okay. Simply Live. Okay, can you hear Filomena? You silent. Okay, A4 paper maybe. Okay. Well, okay. So about the Azores. Well, what okay about this? So what can I say? What can I say? So I was in the Azores last week. I went with some friends to the island of Terceira. I don't know if Carl is showing any pictures or I don't know. I have sent some pictures to Carl while I was there, but I don't know if he might show. So, we were in Terceira. Terceira is one of the biggest islands of the 9 islands that are the Azores. So in the Azores, for those who don't know, we have a group of 2 islands that are nearest to the mainland. And when I say nearest, is 2 hours away from us by plane. And the nearest ones are São Miguel, which is the biggest island, and Santa Maria. So first you have nearest to us is Santa Maria, and then São Miguel. Then there is what we call Grupo Central, the central group, 5 islands. You have Terceira, where I was, and you have Faial, Pico, São Jorge, and Graciosa. Then a bit further to the west, so nearer to the American continent, you have 2 other islands, the island of Flores and the island of Corvo. Corvo is the smallest island of them all. It's just about 4 kilometers by 7, but it's a lovely island to visit as well. It has a population of 400 and something inhabitants, so less than 500 inhabitants, but it's a lovely island to visit as well. And actually, it's the most, in my opinion, the most beautiful crater of all the volcanoes that you have in the Azores. So all the islands are of volcanic origin. And what else can I say? So on the island of Terceira, where I was, the population is about 55,000. So as I said, it's one of the biggest ones, and it has an American military base there for many, many years. Uh, yes, any questions? Yes, because I'm at the moment I am looking at Carl's studio. I'm okay. Let's try to follow the chat, but um, if that is Miranda do Corvo, no, Miranda do Corvo has nothing to do with the island of Corvo. No, Corvo, Ilha do Corvo. Uh, well, I might have said Ilha do Corvo, but it's Ilha do Corvo. You know that people from the north tend to pronounce the V as a B, but Ilha do Corvo. Um, so, if you don't know the Azores yet, I really recommend a visit. So I went with my friends Deborah and Mac. Carl knows Mac because of the motor club. He has been on the show as well. Um, so we had a lovely 5 week, five not 5 weeks, 5 days there. We were very lucky with the weather, um, and uh, and that's it. I mean, I don't know. Let's see if I can see any questions. Um, mhm. No, no, well, yes. To get to the Azores, it's by plane. You don't get there by any other means rather than by plane. There are ships, but cargo ships. So, yeah, of course, to take a car or something. Uh, then between the islands, you can take a boat between some of the islands, not all, but between some of the islands. For example, between Faial and Pico and São Jorge, you can travel by boat. From Faial to Pico, you take half an hour by boat. Then from Pico to São Jorge, it's 1 hour and a half. You can also take a boat from Flores to Corvo, about half an hour. Um, so there are a few islands that you can also travel by boat between them. But every island has got an airport or a smaller, sometimes very, very, like in Corvo, you also have an airport for smaller planes. Um, it's very easy. The airport there, it's very, very easy, and just one door, nothing to nothing to miss. So yes, what else? Then you can, in each island you can visit something different. Of course, there are volcanoes in every island. There are beautiful lagoons. For example, in São Miguel, you have Lagoa das Sete Cidades, Lagoa das Furnas, Lagoa do Fogo, beautiful lagoons in the crater of the volcano. And because also each island has been formed by several volcanoes, not just one volcano. So the origin of the island started about 8 million years ago. Um, the the youngest islands are more or less 4 million years old, and so for example, last week we went to lava tunnels. We visited some lava tunnels. I have sent some pictures to Carl, but I don't know if he can show the pictures. Um, and we were also supposed to speak about Christmas. So and let's see. Okay, let me have a look at the questions to see. Um, mm, mm. Okay, let me see, because there are Okay, queria. Okay, I have a question from James. So, is queria used for asking for nouns and gostaria for asking for verbs? If not, what are the differences and why would we use one over the other? No, not really. I mean, queria can also be used for verbs, but yes, I mean, on the whole, yes, you can say that you can say queria café, queria uma dose de bacalhau, gostaria de, so it's always gostaria de because of the verb gostar, always followed by the preposition de. But gostaria de, for example, tomar café. For me, it sounds a bit not something that I would say. I would say queres tomar café, for example, or eu queria tomar café, but eu so gostaria. Well, first of all, gostaria in the conditional, it implies something that you long for. I mean, something that it's a wish. For example, like gostaria de visitar a Ásia. I would like to visit Asia one day. So that is a wish that you make with gostaria. The Portuguese usually use the pretérito imperfeito instead of the conditional. So gostava, in that sense of the I would like something. I would like a coffee, or I would like. So you could say gostava or queria. It's the most common, but you can say both with a verb or with a noun. You can say gostaria. Well, yeah, with the verb gostaria and then a verb. But queria you can also use with a verb. Queria ir, por exemplo, queria ir à Inglaterra, mas agora não posso porque é necessário o passaporte. Tenho que arranjar o passaporte primeiro. So I hope Carl solves the problem. I hope Carl solves the problem. Ok. Daniel dos Reis disse ontem que os voos até lá são um pesadelo. Até lá, well, I think that Mr. S is referring to the Azores. The flights are a nightmare. Well, no, not really. I mean, our flight was on time. It was everything fine. And so, no problem. Sometimes, of course, as everywhere, you have some delays because of the weather there. Sometimes it's very windy or there is a storm. It had happened to me before, but no. Last week, for example, and it was December, and the weather was lovely. It was always sunny. It rained for about 5 minutes. In 5 days, we had some rain, but not long. And so, no, the flights are fine. And so let me have a look. Queria, I want to, gostaria, I would like to. Yes, João. João Ernesto do Norte. Yes, you are right. Although queria can also be translated by I would like, for example, queria café, I would like a coffee. Queria is not exactly I want to, because quero is I want in the present tense. I want, quero. Queria is more in the sense I would like, I would want. Okay. So Carl is saying, let's reset and try again. Okay. So, I'm trying to look at the questions. Where does the tradition of the big boom fireworks come from? Often at 8, 12, 6 and midnight. Well, the fireworks. Okay. The fireworks is a tradition. I guess because in the old times, in the old days, there were no, means of communication that were efficient and fast, like the internet or so. So the way you had to know that there was some celebration somewhere was with the fireworks. If you hear a firework, you immediately associate with, okay, there is some celebration going on. So that's why, although I know that nowadays we have the newspapers, we have although the advertising is not a thing that Portuguese do very well, but anyway, although there are other means of communication, but the old firework is still a tradition in Portugal. And for example, the ones at midnight when we have, for example, New Year's Eve, the colorful ones, because people like to see the beautiful fireworks as well. Um, yes, so let me have a look, because I'm in two screens at the one time, so it was okay. Um, then let me see if I, because there are so many comments. A melhor época no verão, mas os voos costumam estar mais cheios e mais caros. Okay, Antonio F says, yes, that the best season to visit the Azores is in summer. Yes, I would also say spring because of the flowers, because Azores is a destination to go if you like nature. Absolutely, it's a nature paradise. And in spring you have all the hortensias, the typical flower from the Azores. They grow everywhere, and so it's lovely to see, very beautiful, because you have flowers everywhere, literally everywhere, by the road and everywhere. It's always very green as well, because it rains, as I said, once in a while it rains. But even when it rains, it doesn't rain days in a row like here. Sometimes it rains for 15 minutes, and then the sun comes out again, and then it's windy, and then it's warm, and then it's colder. Well, speaking about temperatures, the temperature is always mild there, and it's always very constant temperature. I mean, it doesn't flow as here. In the mainland, for example, where I live in Miranda do Corvo, in Coimbra, we can have, because it's the mountain, we can have -3, and in the summer we can have 40 degrees, but not on the islands. So on the islands, for example, last week we had temperatures of 20, 21, and in the evening 18, 17. So it's always more or less like that. And even in summer, it doesn't go very, very high. The temperatures are sometimes 20, 22, 23, 25, but not higher than that. So, okay, Solar Life Portugal. Pete is asking if I got the money back on the flight. Yes, I last year, yes, I had some money back, yes, from a delay of my flight last year. Okay, so what stuff for young people? Oh, okay. Stuff for young people. There are lots of activities that you can do, like, for example, diving and lots of sea sports. You can also take a boat to see dolphins and whales. You can have climbing activities. Well, you have lots of things. There are also bars at night you can go to. So yes, and it depends. There are young people that also like to visit museums, and so there are lots of things that you can visit, both young and old. For example, in Fayal, you can visit the museum of the Scrimshaw Museum in Petersburg, and that is extraordinary pieces of art. So it's carved whale's teeth and sometimes also bones. So that is a fantastic job to see. For example, Jacques Cousteau, his face is there in a few teeth, whale's teeth, and that is very nice. Then you have the volcanoes. For example, in Terceira, you can go inside a volcano, although at the moment the volcano is closed. So no, they are doing some works. Um, so okay. Oh, Carlo. Well, don't give up, Carl. Don't give up. We still have some minutes. Maybe you can do it. Okay. Try again. So, as I was saying, the volcano is having some works inside for easier access of the tourists, because they already had some steps and everything, but they are renovating everything to be better for the visitors. So maybe in spring, maybe they will finish that. And so you can go inside the volcano and see the crater from the inside. It's fantastic. I've been there already twice, and I know that it's a lovely thing to see. Well, since it seems that I took over the program, and Carl has asked me to speak about Christmas, so I thought of reading for you a text about Christmas that comes in. Maybe some of you know this book. Português 21. It's one of the books that I use in my lessons. The Português 21. And so, as a Portuguese lesson, I'm going to read for you. And as I said, I can try to move to the comments as well, but well, okay. Well, anyway, maybe Carl can put some questions that if he is not too busy trying to reboot everything, and he might put up some questions. But okay, so I'm reading this text about Christmas in Portuguese. So as a Portuguese lesson, because lots of you speak Portuguese already, so you will understand what I'm reading. So I'm going to read this, okay? About how Portuguese celebrate Christmas. So, o Natal. O Natal é uma data muito especial. Os portugueses gostam de oferecer presentes a vários membros da família e também aos seus amigos. No Natal, gasta-se muito dinheiro, mas o importante é reunir a família. Pais, filhos, avós, tios, primos. Ninguém deve ficar sozinho. Até às 19 horas do dia 24, muitos portugueses procuram os presentes de última hora. O movimento nas ruas é enorme. Tudo tem de estar preparado para a noite de Natal. Na noite do dia 24, a família junta-se para a ceia de Natal. Bacalhau cozido com batatas e legumes para os mais tradicionais. Mas também há famílias que preferem peru. Para a sobremesa, a mesa enche-se de doces, fatias douradas, farófias, filhoses, bolo rei e muitos outros. Come-se muito e também se bebe bastante. Mais tarde, vem o momento que todos esperam, a troca de presentes. No dia 25, a festa continua com um almoço que também tem de ser especial. A família reúne-se mais uma vez e passa umas horas de convívio alegre, com todos sentados a uma mesa cheia. mas as crianças preferem passar o dia a brincar com os brinquedos que o Pai Natal lhes ofereceu. So, as I said, this is a text that comes on this textbook, Português 21. This is a book level A1, as you can see. And so, I'm sure lots of you understood what I said, but if you want, I can also translate. Okay. Instead of checking the comments, I'm going to do a quick translation of this text. So, o Natal é uma data muito especial. Christmas is a very special date. Os portugueses gostam de oferecer presentes a vários membros da família e também aos seus amigos. The Portuguese like to give presents to several members of the family and also to their friends. No Natal gasta-se muito dinheiro. At Christmas, you spend a lot of money, mas o importante é reunir a família. But the important thing is to gather the family. Pais, parents, filhos, children, avós, grandparents, tios, aunts and uncles, primos, cousins. Ninguém deve ficar sozinho. Nobody should be left alone. Até às 19 horas do dia 24, until 7 p.m. on the 24th, muitos portugueses procuram os presentes de última hora. Lots of Portuguese search for the last minute presents because you know how the Portuguese like to leave things for last minute. It's a bit like Carl today, isn't it? Well, okay. So, o movimento de ruas é enorme. The movement in the streets, the hustle in the streets is huge. Tudo tem de estar preparado para a noite de Natal. Everything has to be ready for Christmas Eve. And speaking about Christmas Eve, so this is a Portuguese tradition. Instead of, for example, in the UK, I know that the most important meal is Christmas Sunday, Christmas lunch on Christmas Day. But in Portugal, the most important is the 24th in the evening, a noite de Natal, or we also say consoada, a consoada for the Christmas Eve dinner. And usually the family goes to, for example, if you live in a city and if your family lives in a village, your parents, your grandparents, you usually go to visit your family. So lots of cousins and aunts and uncles, and you see everyone at least for Christmas. And so that is a tradition. On the 24th in the evening, people get together sometimes after a year or after several months. And then, of course, on the 25th, the party goes on. So that's what the text says also. But speaking on the 24th, na noite do dia 24, a família junta-se para a ceia de Natal. So as I said, on the 24th in the evening, the family gets together for the Christmas dinner. Bacalhau cozido com batatas e legumes. So I know that lots of you don't like bacalhau, our cod, but maybe, as I said before, maybe because you have never tasted a good bacalhau, because a good recipe, because there are 1,001 different ways of cooking bacalhau. So maybe you just tried the wrong one for you. But bacalhau cozido. Are you now okay, Carl? So bacalhau cozido is the boiled cod. So instead of having elaborated, complicated dish, the Portuguese really like simple things. And when I say that, I would say in general, we like simple things in every aspect. So we also like to be very simple, very plain on the meal that we have for Christmas, which is the traditional meal is the boiled potatoes, boiled vegetables. I know that it might sound for you, what? I mean, boiled, everything boiled? Yeah. Well, not for us. We like it. I like it. I do it every year. So, bacalhau cozido com batatas e legumes para os mais tradicionais. For the most traditional ones. I am a traditional one. Mas também há famílias que preferem peru. The text says that there are also families that prefer turkey. I would say, okay, turkey, sometimes pork, because we have laid down, for example, the piglet, or kid, cabrito, or borrego, lamb. We have lots of other meat, other things, rather than turkey. I would say that maybe in Lisbon it's more turkey, but here in the countryside we usually have other kinds of meat. Then, para a sobremesa, a mesa enche-se de doces. So for dessert, the table fills up with sweets. And you know how Portuguese love sweets. So fatias douradas or rabanadas is, again, it's something very, very simple. Just slices of bread, because usually this is prepared, or it used to be prepared for Christmas Day. After the meal at night on the 24th, there are lots of bread leftovers. So the bread is harder the next day. And of course, for a Portuguese, and you have to understand that economically, and if we speak about in the old days, economically, people were poor and in general, and so we would never throw away food. I mean, never. And so if you wanted to use the leftovers, one way of using the bread, the hard bread, was slicing the bread, and still is. So you slice the bread, and then you soak it in milk, and then you fry the bread. And then when it's fried, when it's ready, then you can sprinkle cinnamon and sugar. Of course, everything has to be with sugar in Portugal. So it's a traditional sweet as well. Fatias douradas or rabanadas. Then farófias. Farófias is a sweet that is made with egg white, because we also use lots of egg yolks in lots and lots of traditional sweets, dessert. And because of the nuns that used to use the egg yolks in the convents, in the monasteries, because the nuns used to use the egg whites to make their clothes stiff, right? To make those the customs to go stiff, and they used the egg whites to do that. And so they had many egg yolks. So with the egg yolks, you do lots of other sweets, but farófias, it's the leftovers. So again, the leftover, the egg white that you have, and you also boil you boil the egg white in milk. Then filhoses. Filhoses, there are different kinds of filhoses according to the area in the country. For example, near Pete, you have the filhó espechada, stretched filhó, so it's flat and it's round but flat. Here where I live, we have the little round ball shaped filhós. So they can, usually they are made of pumpkin, but they can also be made of carrot, and so you have different filhoses. Actually, Pete has done filhós espechada once that you went with me to Pampilhosa da Serra. Then bolo rei. Bolo rei is this kind of cake with the crystallized fruit on top. So the bolo rei is also a must on a table at Christmas. So you can see this in every pastry shop now. And of course many others, as the text says, muitos outros. Come-se muito e também se bebe bastante. You eat a lot and you also drink a lot. Mais tarde vem o momento que todos esperam. Later comes the moment that everyone is waiting for. A troca de presentes, so the present exchange. No dia 25 a festa continua. On the 25th the party goes on, com o almoço que também tem de ser especial, with a lunch that also has to be special. A família reúne-se mais uma vez, so the family gets together once again, e passa umas horas de convívio alegre and spends some joyful socializing time, com todos sentados a uma mesa cheia, with everyone sat or sitting at a full table. Mas as crianças preferem passar o dia, but the children prefer to spend the day a brincar com os brinquedos, playing with the toys que o Pai Natal lhes ofereceu, that Santa Claus has given them. So you have some pictures on this book. You have some pictures of Christmas. So let's see. Okay. So as I said, this is on this book, Português 21. And maybe some of you have the book and you can look at the text on page 151.
Can you hear me now, Filomena?
Oh, you are back, Carlitos.
I've come to use a different computer. I'm sat in the kitchen, actually. That's a green screen behind me, and I'm sat in the kitchen. So you are amazing. That was incredible. Sorry to put you under such stress there this morning, but you did the most amazing job.
Well, I didn't know what to say because usually you ask the questions.
We should do this more often. Can you do it on Monday as well?
Yeah, so you had a true Friday the 13th, right?
That's right. Astrologically, Mrs. N was talking about Mercury in retrograde, and that was a proper Friday the 13th.
It was, yes, it was really a Friday the 13th for you. Yeah.
Now, I should be going to the Bruges festival as well, shouldn't I?
To
the Bruges festival. We know where I send people to the wrong part of the country to go to the Friday the 13th special.
Yes. Today there is the festival in Montalegre, Carl.
Not Porto Alegre, everybody.
Not Porto Alegre, Montalegre. So yes, today is it's a day of festa, big festa in Montalegre. So if you are near Montalegre, up north, near the border to Spain, I advise you to go because they start at 13 and 13. So 1 hour, 13 minutes, they will start the party, and they will have a wonderful party there.
Yeah, look at this. What a great anchor woman. Well done, Filomena. You should think about this as a career spin-off. You should get in touch with RTP.
Well, considering that I have been a teacher for over 35 years.
I thought that's where you got this skill from. You could be just put in a room with 30, I mean, it is like being in a room with 35 children, presumably, being with all the gumpers here.
No, but the thing is that when I teach, of course, I have a plan to teach, right? I have a plan. So I know what I'm going, or at least I'm waiting for the questions as well, and I answer the questions. Here, it was a bit different because usually you ask the questions. So, and because I was in the studio, right? I was not on the YouTube channel. And so sometimes I went to the YouTube channel to see the question. Sometimes I was in the studio. And so I was moving back and forward. Well, and that's why I didn't follow every comment because it was a bit incredible. Hard to follow everything.
You have done the most incredible job. For anybody who sent me any information, we'll make sure we either post that up over the weekend or we'll do it on Monday. And I do have some questions in the last few minutes we've got.
Yeah.
Because the show was, have you tried Francesinata? Have you tried Broinhas and Bacalhau a Minhota? I don't know if you had a chance to talk about that, but This is the first one, Filomena. This is the Francesinata. Have you ever had that? Too much?
No.
This is what's wrong with AI, isn't it? Just one picture tells you everything you need to fear about artificial intelligence. That is horrific, isn't it?
Never.
Now, what's that on the only thing missing is, I think you said before, is a fried egg. And there's that extra butter on top of the pastel de natas there, on the pastéis. Maybe it's a blob of butter.
It seems to be a bit of butter, maybe. I don't know. But that's awful.
It is truly awful, isn't it? It's truly awful. So thank you, Liz Bob, for posting that up. I don't know if that was their original work, but it was fascinating. And Pam, I think, sent that to me in the first place. Now, the other thing is your broinhas. This morning, I had my cup of coffee and I had some of your very own honey in it, which is a lovely, smoky, dark honey. So thank you very much for that. And when I saw you, oh, here we go. Here's another pot. Beautiful. Look how sort of smoky and dark that honey is.
Yes. Very, very dark because of the plants in the mountain.
Yeah. Now, the other thing you gave me when we met a couple of weeks ago was your homemade broinhas as well.
Yes.
Now,
Broinhas de batata. Broinhas de batata.
Because often they're made with sweet potato. Your recipe is with potato.
No, potatoes, right? Not sweet potatoes. It's just plain potatoes. Yeah.
Can you quickly tell us the recipe, or is it a family secret?
No, I mean it's you boil the potatoes first, and then you smash the potatoes. Then you add the eggs. Then you add the sugar, and then you add flour with a little bit of yeast, and then you add whatever you like, the fruit. So you can have raisins. I usually put raisins and walnuts. You can have crystallized fruit if you want.
Yes.
So you put So
why is it called broinhas then? Because it sounds like it's going to be broa, doesn't it? Like a cornbread, but there's no cornbread.
Broa is a big one. We call broa a big one.
Yeah.
And because they are small, they are called broinha. Broinha. Okay. You know the inha and inho is that suffix that you add to the word when you want to say a little something.
Like a Carlinho.
Carlitos in your case, Carlitos. But Carlinhos could be also. But if you say casinha, for example, casa, casinha, cão, cãozinho, or gato, gatinho, for example, gato, gatinho. So if you add this inho and inha, bro is a feminine word, broa, ending with an A. So broinha, ending with an A. Broinha is a little, well, we would say cornbread, but it's not cornbread in that case.
So maybe like a little loaf or a little bun or something like that. Yeah, okay, very good. And it was delicious. And I think because of the potato content, they stayed fresh.
Yes, they last. For example, when I went to the Azores last week, I took loads of them and I ate them throughout the week because they are something that lasts for at least a week easily. They last for a long time. Oh, I lost you again.
Friday the 13th strikes again.
Yeah.
I think there. So but absolutely. So the potato content keeps it fresh for a long time, by the sound of it.
Yes, it for example, when I studied in East Germany, because I studied in Halle at the University of Halle in East Germany, and actually, what saved me the first weeks were my broinhas.
Oh, really? Is that special?
Because I hated the food there because it was. No, I mean, it was not like in West Germany. In West Germany, I loved the food. I loved it.
Right.
I loved the sausages and, the chicken, everything. But in East Germany, and I used to eat in the canteen, at the university canteen. So the food was, always full of sauce. And you know how Portuguese hate sauce.
The molho.
molho. So everything was covered in sauce. Sometimes I didn't figure out what I was eating. It was just a bunch
Really?
of sauce.
Hiding
And
things in the.
what saved me was two things: my Broinhas and the German beer.
That's
So
sense. Yeah.
yeah,
To
well,
be fair, German.
I lived on that for a couple of weeks. Broinhas
Did
and
you?
beer.
Wow. Amazing. That could be a special recipe book, I think. The beer and broinha survival diet. Right. Now the third one, and we're coming up to the end of the show. That that is the quickest hour of my life.
I have time. I have time. Yeah, don't worry. I
Okay.
have time.
All right. So the third one, because it was a bit of a foodie concept flavor with the
Bacalhau à minhota.
Francesinata, the Broinhas, and the Bacalhau à Minhota. I'd not seen this one. And they're talking about mincing bacalhau. Now, we all like to have a mince first thing in the morning. What's the situation with this then? This is one of the 1,000 recipes, presumably.
This is one of the 1,001 recipes. Sometimes the restaurants around here, they call it bacalhau à casa. Bacalhau à casa.
Right.
It's it's usually I think, I mean, I'm not sure, but I think it's fried first and then it goes to the oven. But I can't tell you 100%. But I think it's fried first and then it goes to the oven. And you have lots of onion and olives and yes, and chips or.
Is it a way? Does minhota mean minced?
No. Minhota is because of the northern part called Minho.
Oh, the Minho. Okay, all right. Okay,
Minho.
I see.
Minhota is nothing to do with mint. No, Minhoto or Minhota is a person from Minho, an inhabitant of Minho, and so that is Bacalhau Minho way, the Minho way. So Minho, Viana do Castelo.
Yeah, absolutely. The Minho, yeah, that makes sense. I should have realized that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Ponta de Lima, where we have some expats as well. So yes, so that Minho, that area of Portugal. So bacalhau à minhota because it's from Minho.
Okay, all right. So the whole minced bacalhau, I'll have to research that some more. And as yet another brilliant bacalhau.
It's very good. That bacalhau is also very good. Very good. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I've got those two mixed up. So back to the drawing board with that. This was lovely to see this week. A map of Europe, and I've got loads of maps of Europe. I've got these all suddenly came up where you drive on the left and the right. So you have to be careful in Scandinavia. There is this. Look how old Portugal is. This is fantastic, isn't it? Back to the
Portugal is from 1143.
Isn't that amazing? And then this was a good one. This shows the population distribution, which I think is very fascinating. So I'll stick all of those up at the Portugal Club. But this one I thought was very interesting as well. Look at this. I thought maybe it would be pork that was the most eaten meat here in Portugal. But it turns out we're a fish-eating nation, like the Scandinavians. As you can see on the map there?
Well, I would say it depends on the area of Portugal. Because, for example, in the inner part, so the eastern part, I wouldn't say that they eat as much fish as at the seaside, right? By the seaside, it's always easier to get fresh fish. For example, here where I live, near Coimbra, in Miranda do Corvo, I have fresh fish on Wednesday, just on Wednesday morning. So I buy my fish sometimes for 2 or 3 days. But so I eat fish Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I eat meat usually. But pork is definitely the most consumed meat in Portugal.
Yes,
And for example, in the north, they also consume more beef because they have more cows in the north than us here.
Okay, so regional variations then. Fair enough.
Yes.
That makes sense.
In the Azores, for example, they eat a lot more beef than pork. They hardly eat pork.
They've got
it's a lot more beef.
Yep. Okay. Very good. So we've got a few events for the weekend, but I'll only do a very light selection. But before we leave food, we've got to do our advent calendar as well. So I will put that up on the calendar. But yeah, before we leave food, now do you share the English interest in baked beans? I'm sure some of your students will have given you baked beans. Did you like them, Filomena?
The baked beans, yes, I buy them as well, but not
Do
these
you?
ones. Not these ones with tomato sauce. Yes, the
But look
baked
at
beans.
this. This is the
I,
great. This is like the Treaty of Windsor in a tin. The British and the Portuguese in a tin together with peri peri baked beans. Would you eat that?
no, not really, because I don't like spicy food.
All right, and then curry beans on the right there. Has anyone tried that? All right, our advent calendar of the day. Because you're a teacher, I think this one works for you today, Filomena. Santa's been busy reading your posts all year. Most of
I
you.
agree. I agree with Santa. I agree with Santa. Yeah.
Okay, and then a couple. Thank you, by Randy. All the best with the move, Andy. Lot of lovely events here in the Bairrada region, which you can find on the Gumper map. They're all getting very Christmassy, of course, right now. Look at them, a really good showing. The Bairrada definitely know how to party, and Pete sent one in as well. This is over Pete's way. My eye went straight to Bifanas and Caldo Verde over there on the left of the poster, but that's a local one for Pete there.
Passagem de ano, yeah.
Yeah, I can't actually figure out where that is. That's
Orca. It says
oh, that's an orca. Did it say? Oh,
Passagem de
yeah.
ano. Look at
All right.
Passagem de ano, and then underneath Casa do Povo, Orca.
There we go. That's Pete's part of the world,
yes,
isn't it?
It's
over
Pete's place,
in Orca, that's the New Year's Eve party then, presumably there, from 10 o'clock in the evening. An early start by Portuguese standards.
Well, it's to go throughout the night.
Yes, absolutely. And tonight, please come along. If you're on the Silver Coast, come and join us. We're having normally our Wednesday meetup is happening. Well, the Wednesday meetup happens on a Wednesday, obviously, but the Friday the 13th, what could possibly go wrong? We're meeting at Casa de Lem tonight at the cocktail here in San o'clock. So I think that'll be a lot of people. I could really do with a drink right now, but I'll wait until o'clock. That was.
You are breaking up sometimes.
I very rarely get stumped with technical things, and I just could not.
It was today. It had to be today because I was here. Otherwise, how would you do it?
Oh, it had to be today. She's frozen up there, or I have. Some things happened, but thank you so much. Muito obrigado, bom fim de semana. You are an absolute.
Let's finish with a very, very simple song.
Oh, that's a lovely idea. But before we do that, can I thank you for your beautiful service to this community over another year, Filomena, to the Gumpers. Thank you. It's December. It's the last one for the year. We're looking forward to you teach us more in the new year. But thank you so much for everything you've done for us for 2024.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure for me. And although today I got a bit stuck here because I didn't know what to say.
Well, I'm not sure what's happening.
But thank you. Thank you. It's always a pleasure for me to speak about Portugal and the Portuguese language. Yes.
Well, it always feels like that. It always feels like that. So thank you. So what are we singing then? What are we singing?
Well, just a very, very simple. A todos bom Natal. A todos bom Natal.
To everyone. Bom Natal.
Yeah. So, ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Always ready to sing.
A todos bom Natal, a todos bom Natal, que seja bom Natal para todos nós, que seja bom Natal para todos nós. No Natal pela manhã, ouvem-se os sinos tocar, há uma grande alegria no ar, a todos todos um bom Natal, a todos um bom Natal, que seja um bom Natal para todos nós, que seja um bom Natal para todos nós.
I haven't got the sound effect, but todos bom Natal. There we go. More again from Peter. Obrigado. That was lovely. That was lovely. And what I'll do is I'll find a video, maybe, or the music, and we'll sing that more as we make our way towards the new year.
Yes.
So thank you for that extra gift there, Filomena. Lots of love to you and the family. And to Miranda de Corvo, thank you. Thanks
Obrigada,
again.
igualmente. Feliz Natal a todos e boas festas, bom ano novo.
Muito obrigado e bom fim de semana. Tchau, tchau.
Beijinhos.
Tchau, tchau.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, you gumpers.